Joe Biden has finally called for a ceasefire in Gaza, doing so during what turned out to be a rather tense and short phone call with Netanyahu, clocking in at under 30 minutes in length, where the president expressed the need for caution, the concern for the humanitarian crisis that is growing ever so more present and worse, and also threatening to finally pull back U.S. aid if his asks go unanswered. This is coming shortly after a rift between U.S. and Israel was created over Netanyahu's urging of a ground invasion in Rafah, while Biden had said vehemently there was a red line drawn there. And only days after an Israeli attack killed 7 World Kitchen workers in Gaza. In addition to calling for this ceasefire, Biden said the U.S. expects to see a drastic increase in the aid being allowed into Gaza, the opening of additional crossings in and out of Gaza, and more guarantees of protection for civilians and the international aid workers. Close Biden ally Chris Coons, who has been a rather staunch Israel defender, has publicly also said that now they're open to conditioning the aid that the U.S. is sending Israel on how they conduct themselves and which ones of these demands they meet, which is the biggest bargaining chip that we have to get Israel to listen to us. The Iron Dome defense, the billions we send for weapons, and what I've been urging to happen since the beginning. If they won't take our caution, if they won't heed to our advice, why should we send them billions to carry out what is essentially genocide? If you want to play semantics, gross war crimes and mass murder any way that you want to chalk it up. As a result of this, Israel has already agreed to open 2 ports into Gaza, the Ashdod and the Erez ports, allowing more aid to enter at what is a very much needed time, as 1 in 3 children are food insecure. The numbers of even children or just civilians in general dying of famine are going up and up by the day. Israel has lashed out already at this, blaming the U.S. decision to allow a UN ceasefire resolution to pass as why no ceasefire has actually happened. They're saying you're not letting us bomb more, so we can't stop bombing, and that makes about as much sense as it sounds. And it shows the Israeli game plan, that kind of narcissism. If we pull back aid, they're gonna pull any trick out of the bag to kind of guilt us and rope us back in. Oh, we can't survive without your help. Oh, we can't stop fighting without you guys. Oh, this, oh, that. But you have to remember their unwillingness to listen these last 6 months that we have been unconditionally sending them aid. They can't have their cake and eat it too. They can't have our billions and kill civilians with it too, at least not for too long. Biden finally is trying to put a stop to that. If they look to us for aid, they should adhere to our advice. They should listen to our red lines and stop when we say stop and jump when we say jump. We as a nation should never send aid to those who are willing to commit war crimes, who have committed war crimes, who are committing those war crimes. And Biden finally separating himself from such is long overdue, much too late for the over 30,000 dead Palestinians. But late is better than never. And right-wingers, of course, are furious at this as well, lashing out on X and in any public statements they can, saying it's going to lead us to war, which is ironic that the bloodthirsty hawks try to label moves that are clearly diplomatic and peace-oriented as what will bring war. The same people who unironically will say that Gaza should just be leveled, that Israel should finish the job, that these aren't going to lead to war because Arab states, they'll just lay down and take it, right? Biden also, for the first time in calling for this ceasefire, did not condition that ceasefire with the release for hostages. That is another point that makes this much different than any of the other times, like the private phone call that had been circulating between Biden and Netanyahu, where he said, if they release the hostages, we want a ceasefire. Let's do a temporary ceasefire for the hostages to get out. This is an immediate ceasefire for humanitarian and civilian purposes. Hostages had no part in it, though he did urge the continued attempts to bring them home, urging Netanyahu to empower his negotiators, as it came out that Netanyahu isn't the one really with any power in that regard. I guess it's his negotiators. So empower them to make that happen and bring not only the American hostages, but the Israeli hostages out as well, and then get the Palestinian hostages released in that order also. Now that America has allowed for these UN resolutions to pass, and Biden now has also publicly called for a ceasefire, I wonder what's going to happen going forward, what the Israeli plan becomes, and how they conduct and carry themselves, because with this much mounting pressure, UN resolutions, US possibly pulling back aid, and the international community largely being against their actions, this might finally spell the end of the grossly humane killing in Gaza. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that can interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.